ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no rain with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time of the week for the Breakfast Bankroll with good friend and colleague, Mr. Adam Trigger, at Adam Trigger WT on Twitter. Go follow him there. Get all his amazing work at Wager Talk there. Headliner today, who is the Beast of the East in the NCAA hoops? I'm talking to Adam backstage. Just 2 weeks and 1 day. We flipped the calendar. It's March. The madness is here, guys. Let's embrace it and let's have some fun here. Adam's had some great success here on Thursdays. We moved him from Friday to Thursdays. We want to turn this into a Q&A. He's got a big following here. Guys, don't be shy. Ask away. Huge slate today. Huge slate this weekend. Don't be shy. Ask away. First and foremost, a shout out to our proud sponsor and partnerships. It's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play. Download that app. It is free. Travis, Zach, Guy, Amber, Holly, Caro, Kara. The list is endless. Jay Berry, come on board. I guarantee you'll have a blast. Viva Tequila Seltzer, CT Bets, Austin, their team, second to none. 6 flavors in all. 2 new flavors, 1 lemon, and the East Coast is cuckoo for coconuts. And last but never least, AtlantaSteaksandSeafood.com. Head on over to Facebook. Introduce yourself to Terry Smith. While you're there, head on over to AtlantaSteaksandSeafood.com. Place an order today. Use the promo code SHRIMP. Get a 2-pound bag of shrimp, the 1620s, the huge boys. Right there, surf and turf. Baked stuffed shrimp cocktail, however you want to use it. Terry will take good care of you. 4 subscription plans, steaks, chops, fillets, you name it. He's got it. Check a box, set it and forget it. Every month, have a box delivered to your front door. So without further ado, Mr. Adam Trigger. Morning, Adam.
What's up, Jeff? I need every day to be Thursday, because like this is the day. This is everything. The show has been great since you moved me to Thursday. I think we've had like 2 or 3 like really good shows where most of the stuff we've talked about has won. And then the rest of the week, I take beats like I took last night with St. Bonaventure. Like, I just an insane way to lose plus 2.5. If you didn't watch the game, essentially lost plus 2.5 on a 4-point play at the buzzer. So, but we get rid of that early in the week, and then we come in here and hit and give out a bunch of winners on Thursday. So that's hopefully to everyone's benefit, and that's what I'm trying to do again today.
Shout out to Billy Hewlin. Good morning from the South Coast, my brother. Billy, give Rebecca a big hug for me. Roll Tide, roll Tide. Big game for the Tide this weekend as they face Auburn, the first of 2 games there. We'll get to some of the big games, of course. Another week has passed. We talked about UConn in that tough schedule. hosting St. John's on Friday, and the Johnnies slow start, big close to the first half. They win at Stores, but in between, UConn wins at Marquette without Liam. They bring back Liam for St. John's and lose. And then a big boy win at Creighton as Danny shows the crowd the 2 rings as he's gesturing off. Liam McNeely, a freshman record, 38 points. Life with Liam and the Huskies is a lot easier, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll complain about the Bonnies loss, but I had a good day on Tuesday. I had Utah State, I had UConn. And if you've listened to our segment on this show the last couple weeks, you probably should have made money somewhere with UConn, right? Like we talked about this sort of pocket of games being the time that they would probably make a statement. Didn't know which ones they were going to win or they were going to lose, but they made their statement. The road win at Marquette, the road win at Creighton, and that's back. You know, that's 2-1 against 3 very good, solid ranked opponents. I wouldn't be surprised if that's sort of like I don't think that this is a scenario like 2 years ago where this team's going to go on to win a national championship, but it feels like February from 2 seasons ago where everyone was down on them. They had 5 or 6 losses in the Big East, and they won a couple of big games. I actually think I was at the game that really set it off for them. It was a home game at the XL Center against Marquette, where they just ran Marquette out of the arena. They won by like 25. And like from that point forward, they were business. And then they ended up going on and winning the NCAA tournament. So point of that is I think it's probably time to buy UConn. I still think there's probably going to be value on UConn going forward. Their next game is Tuesday against a Villanova team that just beat St. John's, right? So there should still be some value for this UConn team in their coming games, because after the Nova game, they go to St. John's, home against Georgetown, at Providence, home against Marquette. Like, if you look at like where those teams are trending, it's likely that you're still going to have chances to bet UConn at decent numbers. And like I said, Dan Hurley and his staff, you're not going to find a better coaching staff in the country. All of those guys could have had jobs at mid to low majors. They all decided to stay and be assistants on Hurley's staff. It's as good of a coaching staff as you're going to find. And they're undervalued right now. Even with the win at Creighton, they're undervalued. So sleep on UConn at your own peril going forward is I guess, my advice there.
And my 2 cents about UConn, I was on Sports Grid Tuesday night with Sharapan and Wetzel, and I gave out UConn. We had them plus 155 on the money line too. But I call them a broken team, Adam. They're 2 games prior to St. John's and Marquette. They had about 45 turnovers. Their guard play has been horrendous. I don't know who this Caravan guy is. Now, what you just said a few minutes ago, if the light bulb finally comes on for this kid and everyone does their job, they're going to be a scary, scary team. But from a guard's point, they don't handle pressure well. They throw the ball around, and it's almost like we've got a regression of Caravan. Do you agree there?
Well, I wonder how much of it is a regression and how much of it's not having a Klingon or a Sonogo, or a Spencer or a Tristan Newton, like that I was talking with my friend Aaron Kidd, who's very sharp college basketball better as well. And a point he made prior to the Creighton game was, they really don't have, and I agreed with this, so I'm gonna give him credit here. Like, they don't have that guy to go get them a bucket like they've had the past 2 years with the championship teams. And actually, they had an embarrassment of riches the past 2 years. They've had multiple guys that could go get them a bucket. And this year, it's felt like they haven't had that at times, but maybe that guy's McNeely. Like, at least it looked like, he saved them on Tuesday. Like, there was stretches where it looked like Creighton was going to blow them out of the gym, and he was sort of the 38 points. He was the bucket getter, if you will. And if he can do that consistently, it's going to make life easier for everyone. And let's be honest, like, Caravan a couple years ago, was more of he was really more of a role player.
Mm-hmm.
But think about how much easier life is when you've got Klingon coming off the bench. Like, you've got Sonogo and Klingon playing minutes in there. You have multiple NBA guys like who's my boy from Amsterdam, New York? Why can't I think of Jackson? Jackson grew up in the town over from where I grew up from. They don't have that this year, but if McNeely can be that guy and go out and get 20 plus, again, they're probably undervalued, and I'm willing to bet on Dan Hurley and his staff any day of the week.
We're seeing something historically here in the overall ranks of college basketball, and it's called the SEC, and they're talking 10, 11, 12, 13 teams potentially into the dance. We got the headliner on Saturday, Alabama and Auburn. I can't remember. I go way back to the Big East with St. John's, Georgetown, the fun days back there, the Rolly Massiminos, the Villanovas. They used to be dominant, but what we're seeing here, have you ever seen anything like this in the SEC?
Well, no, because so here's the thing, Jeff, like the SEC has they've invested in basketball, right? Like they were always a football conference. They always generated the most revenue from football, and the whole NIL thing, like they have massive budgets. They make the most money of anyone football related, and it's now permeating into the other sports. And now that you've got NIL and you've got transfer portal, and it's almost like the SEC has been like, well, why not basketball too? We've got the resources, and you're seeing it, right? Like, and the other thing is now you've got like these massive leagues. So the teams they don't necessarily eat each other up like they maybe would in a smaller league, right? Like let's go back maybe 5 to 10 years ago when the norm was to have like 12 to 14 teams in a big conference. Well, at some point, like there was going to be good teams that couldn't win games, right? Like they just couldn't win games because there's not enough wins to go around. Now you have all these teams that have strong non-conference play, and then you still have a bottom. Like, there's some pretty good teams in the bottom of the SEC that just can't really buy wins, but, like a Texas or a Georgia or even in Oklahoma. Like, even look at South Carolina. I mean, they're 0-11 in conference play, but it's not like they've just gotten crushed in every game. Like, but there's enough wins to keep the top 11 afloat, right? So you really haven't seen it because this dynamic has never occurred before. But it's fun to watch, and there's no question, like, best league without a doubt. But, Jeff, just because they're the best league all year does not necessarily mean that those teams are going to win in the NCAA tournament. We see this every year. You almost have to think that there's going to be a tax on SEC teams when it comes to tournament time, and it might make sense trying to find places to oppose them.
Before we get into a couple games that you want to break down, I want to go out west, the conference that Gonzaga has owned. Well, the little boys from St. Mary's have said not so fast there. And there's another team there. I want to get your thoughts on this team. Not as strong as I think they've been the last couple of years, and that's San Francisco, the Dons here. Can this be a three-team league into the dance, or is this just a cut and dry Zags and St. Mary's and forget about it?
Oh, no, I definitely think there's going to be 3 teams from this league. A couple of reasons. So one, you have power conference. You have a power conference in the ACC that won't get nearly as many teams as they do typically because it's a really bad down year for the ACC. So when you have a big time power conference like that's down, there's going to be bids. It's going to help the likes of like the Mountain West, the Atlantic 10, or now the WCC, because you also have to remember that it's a different league than it's been in years past. Like bringing in Oregon State and Washington State, really, even though those 2 teams are, maybe not tournament teams, it raises the profile of the league. Like it used to be BYU, St. Mary's, Gonzaga, and then everyone else was a considerable drop-off. Now, BYU has gone on to the Big 12, but really, like, San Francisco is very good. Santa Clara is very good. Oregon State and Washington State are still respectable. Like, they're still going to give the top teams a game. So you look at this league, you got a top 7: Mary's, San Francisco, Gonzaga, Santa Clara, Oregon State, Loyola Marymount, who's 15-10, 7-5 in the league, and Washington State. It's a pretty strong top 7. I feel like you have to. 3 minimum of 3. Like now, if you get a scenario where a team kind of goes crazy and wins that conference tournament that isn't one of those top 3, it probably cost San Francisco, who seems to get the short end of the stick every single year. But I think if like Gonzaga or St. Mary's were to win the conference tournament and San Francisco sort of plays it out the way that, that they're trending 10-3, like as long as they don't have a terrible loss from here till the end of the season, I do think it's their year. The Dons are they're owed some grace for the past decade of having really good teams that just weren't quite as good as BYU, St. Mary's, and Gonzaga. I hope to see San Francisco in the NCAA tournament this year. I think they deserve it.
You got two games that you want to break down. One right down the road from me. Let's go there. And you talk about bad breaks and whatever. I do want to add this. On Sports Grid Tuesday night, I gave out Santa Clara team total over 63.5. They had played St. Mary's at home on the 29th. They didn't score for 13 minutes, Adam. They didn't score the last 3 minutes of the first half, and they didn't score for the first 10 minutes. And they still got close to their team total. So we gave them out at 63.5, and we told everyone to take them plus 9.5. Well, they scored 64 points and they lost by 9. So again, you're on the right side one day. So one day you're the dog, the next 5 days you're the fire hydrant. So your luck is coming here. Trust me on that. Campbell and Northeastern, and we've been on some good spots lately on Northeastern. So interested on your thoughts here.
Yeah, so we've talked about Northeastern. Sorry to make sure this is plugged in so I don't randomly fall off here. All right. Am I okay there? Am I coming through okay?
You're fine.
All right, good. All right, great. So yeah, we've talked about Northeastern on this show, and the key for Northeastern is their health. That's really the key for this Northeastern team. I've talked about this all year. Jeff, am I like lagging? Or is that just me on my end?
You're coming in okay here. You're fine.
Okay. All right. I felt like I was like lag. Anyway, I'll start over. So Northeastern has had some serious injury concerns this year. Really go back to the beginning of the season. Jared Turner leaves the team prior to the season, and they've had a revolving door of guys out. Masai Troutman's missed time. L.A. Pratt has missed time. Kermery missed like close to 2 months. At full strength, I have Northeastern as one of the better teams in the Coastal. The problem is they really haven't been full strength all year, but they're getting there. We talked about Northeastern ahead of a game 2 weeks ago when they won easily, and they got a couple of these guys back. Now, the key guy for Northeastern is Masai Troutman. He is very close, as from what I'm able to gather, and it's tough to get info on these teams. Troutman is close, so you'll see a spike in the line here. I think it means one of two things. I think it means either Masai Troutman is back tonight, which would make me love Northeastern and probably even love him at -4, or it means Jason Sinani for Campbell is probably still out. So he gets hurt against Elon. He didn't play against NCAA. I think he's very important for Campbell. Remember, this is a Campbell team that's won 7 straight games. And to just put that into context, this was a Campbell team that was widely considered to be one of the worst 5 teams in this league coming into this season. I was hearing that head coach Kevin McGeehan already knew he was not going to come back next year. I don't know how true that is or not. But, I heard that there was that it was known that he would be done after this year. So they were 2-3 in conference play. They're now 9-3. Insane run. I don't think it's really a fluke per se. They've played awesome defense. They're very they're in the context of this league, they're a very complete team. But I think a couple things. So I do think, they are due for some regression at some point. They're shooting a crazy percentage, but also, they've been holding teams to 50, 60 points. And this is a good defensive team. I don't know if they're that good, to just be consistently holding teams into the 50s. But I do think Sinani being out, he's their best rebounding guard, and he hurts them on the defensive end of the floor as well. Just to put that into context, he missed the NCAA game on Monday, who is without their top 2 players. Top 2 players have been suspended. I think they both left the team at this point. They have no offense, and that team scored 62 and was right in that game till the end. And that is a bad NCAA team right now with big time issues, and they've only really got 6 guys. So I really think Northeastern wins here. I missed the move from 2.5 to 4.5. So here's the thing. Like, this is one, like, if you know Troutman's going to play, I think you can bet Northeastern at just about any number. I think 4 would be fine for Northeastern if you know he's in. I have not been able to confirm that yet, so I'm just going to have to probably pass because I didn't get the 2.5 or the 3 that I would have wanted. But I may try to find something to parlay this with tonight, Jeff. This is not typically my style, but there's 60 games. I feel like there's going to be another sort of money line leg that presents itself at some point. And I'll have to run numbers like, I think Irvine might be one you could look at. These are just off of memory. Louisiana Tech. I was going to say Grand Canyon, but I don't know if that'll do much to the parlay. Point is, Northeastern's probably going to win this game regardless. It's a really tough road spot for Campbell. But if Masai Troutman shows up and he's suited up, they're probably going to run Campbell out of the gym, because I think that would be the first time you're getting Northeastern at their full strength with Pratt back, Kermery back. And then right now, like Rashad King and Harold Woods have been undermanned all season, and they've been awesome. And it's gone unnoticed because they've been out there a lot of times. Like Northeastern's, a lot of times they're playing 6 guys a game, and King and Woods are playing the full game, and they're still going out there combining for 40, 45 points. And they just don't have a supporting cast. Troutman is the guy. If you get him back, he's another guy that's 15, 20 point per game guy. I think the second he's back in the lineup and they've got 7 guys they can play, and it's King, Troutman, Pratt, Woods, Kermery, and then Frankel off the bench, Northeastern becomes like a top 3 team in this league. They won't be priced like it. So you'll be able to make money with that going forward. I don't know if it's going to be tonight, but I do think Troutman's very close to returning, and I would keep an eye on his status, as we get closer to game time.
Yeah, and I'm looking right here, Adam. It was an overnight number of 2.5, now 4.5 minus 10 cents at the Circa.
Jeff, that tells me that someone probably knows he's back. Like that's how I read into that. Like what else is going to move Northeastern 2 points? It just, I feel like they know he's back. And I actually played Hampton over the weekend against Northeastern because I knew he wasn't back. So I had good enough intel to know he wasn't coming back for the Hampton game. From what I've heard, it feels like it's going to be this week. So whether it's tonight or Saturday, I also wouldn't be surprised if he came off the bench. He's come off the bench before too. So maybe you just take a chance, try to get down on Northeastern in some capacity. I feel like you're going to see him out there at some point in this game. And if he is, I'd be shocked if they lost this game.
I like where your eyes are there. Your second game, Northern Arizona against Portland State.
Yeah, so this Northern Arizona team's a sore subject for me because when I take a position on them, they lose, and they find a way. Like, they find a way to lose. Jeff, you got me head to head a couple weeks ago. You had Weber State. I had Northern Arizona. Northern Arizona took the lead twice in the final minute of the game, getting a point, and still found a way to lose the game and not land one, right? Like, and this has really been what's the problem with them is they're poorly coached, okay? They're just a poorly coached team. They've had so many games this year that have come down to the final minute and they found a way to lose, right? Like and the reason I'm bringing that up is because when you watch Big Sky basketball, if you're just watching these teams play, they're clearly, in my opinion, what my eyes are telling me is like this team's like one of the more talented teams in this league. Like, you put them up against the rest of the league. You got Trent McLaughlin, who's arguably the best scorer in Big Sky. He's averaging 21.1 points per game. They've got Tout is a legitimate big. They're a top 25 rebounding team. They take care of the basketball. They run decent offense. Like, this is a team that I want to be on, but yet they can't seem to get it right in the final minute or two to win games. Now, that hasn't mattered when they're on the road catching numbers like this. So tonight, plus 5.5. This is the scenario where I think I want to play on Northern Arizona. They're 4-1 against the spread as an underdog in Big Sky play this year. And a couple of those, I believe 2 of those were scenarios like this where they were catching like 5 or 6 points and they lost the game they should have won, that they were in position to win. They blew a 10-point home lead to Idaho State earlier this year. They blew an 8-point lead to Montana State. The Weber State game I was talking about, they come all the way back, take the lead. It's very tough to lose a game when you take the lead twice in the final minute. You come back, you take the lead not once but twice, and you find a way to give up a basket and then draw up one of the worst plays I've ever seen with the game on the line. That's what's losing them games. Now, that's going to lose that's going to lose you a game if you're like in a scenario where you need to win or you're laying a couple points. But tonight they're catching 5.5. This is the scenario where I want this team because my gut tells me that they're still better or at least on par with some of these other top teams. Now, Northern Colorado, who's the only team that they've failed to cover against on the road, is in a league of their own this year. They are the best team in this league. And if you go back to that game, Northern Arizona, there was a lid on the hoop, Jeff, for the first 15 minutes of the game. They literally shots were halfway down, popping out, and Northern Colorado shot like 60% in the first half. So we'll give Northern Arizona a pass there. All the other top teams, they've gone on the road and held their own. They covered against Montana. They covered against Montana State. They went and got true road wins as an underdog in Idaho and Eastern Washington. So I'm not put off by the fact that they're on the road here against another one of these. Portland State's good. They're in the mix, right? They're probably 3rd or 4th in this league. But again, like they're not a team that I think has like a massive home court or should be laying 3 possessions essentially, or 5.5, 6 points on their home floor. So when I watch these two teams play, my eyes tell me Northern Arizona is better. They've got the best scorer in the league in McLaughlin. They have a legitimate big. They rebound. They do all the things that should put you in the top half of a conference like the Big Sky. Yet they come in like 5 and 7 in the league. They keep losing close games. They might lose another close game tonight, but if they lose another close game tonight, you're still probably getting the money anyway, catching 5.5. So I like the Lumberjacks. I'm going to call for the outright sort of upset win, even over the weekend. And I forgot about this one. Over the weekend, they come back. They're down 2 against Montana. They managed to get 2 really good looks at a 3 and then a 2, and they lose that one as well. So they're right in every game with these top teams. They're either going to luck their way into a win at some point with some late game variance in their favor, or they're going to lose another game they should win. And either way, they probably cover 5.5. So I like the Lumberjacks here.
Well, as always, we love our spot here. Now on Thursdays, we get a full half hour with you. We know you got a busy day ahead of you. Scroll has been going the whole time, Adam. We know on Twitter to follow you at AdamTriggerWT, but of course at Wager Talk. So as we always wrap up this segment of the show, tell everyone, A, your show schedule for the rest of the day, and of course, B, what they can find at Wager Talk for you.
Yes, I'll have the On the Clock segment up shortly where I'll talk about 3 games. I'll try to do different games. I try to switch it up on Thursdays. I think we've got 59 games tonight, Jeff. So between the games I have up at Wager Talk, I'll pick a couple for this show. I'll try to do different ones so you're not hearing me ramble about the same games more than once. So we'll do that. I have plays up at Wager Talk right now that I've already bet for today. We've got a great 30-day special that takes you pretty much through conference tournament play. So that's a really good deal that's up on the Wager Talk site. You can check that out. But I post a ton of stuff for free. You can find all of that on Twitter at AdamTriggerWT. And like I said, I'll have the other show with 3 free picks up, which I'll do different. I'll commit to it right now, unless I'm going to upgrade one of these to a paid selection, in which case I would give it out for free. I'll get 3 different ones on the clock because we got 59 games, a lot to talk about today, and that'll be up on my Twitter within a couple hours, probably around 2 p.m.
Adam, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. I'll be following along, of course, on your timeline, and we'll catch up with you next week, same time.
All right. Thanks for having me, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Adam Trigger, go follow him at AdamTriggerWT. Jump on over to Wager Talk. Go subscribe now. I'm telling you, this guy knows inside and out the smaller schools. That's where the nuggets really are, because anyone can go to the the top of the heap, and you got 50,000 people on Auburn on one side and 50,000 on Alabama on the other side. 50,000 happy people, 50,000 upset people. So go follow along, please. We'll go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up. Stay tuned.
Jared, hey, we're gonna need you to tone it down with the Summer Friday thing, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, for one, it's not summer anymore.
Oh, really?
Coconut. Also, who is this?
I'm the caddy.
Oh, he's my intern.
Sorry, intern. I'm his intern.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No golfing in the office, okay? Summer Fridays are over. You can keep the Hawaiian shirt, but the rest of this stuff, all right? Are you grilling?
Oh, yeah. Did you want a burger or a hot dog?
No, grilling in the office.
That's a good point. We should take this outside.
No, that don't. You put that right back down.
Yo, it's all in the hips.
Oh, dude, come on, we gotta go. Let's go.
ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the great way to start the day here. And I wanted to go to a comment here. Mr. Richard Poplis, of course, go Huskies, go. St. John's overrated, got beat last night. Let me just say this about the St. John's team. We talked about them last week. You could get them 47, 48 to 1 to cut down the nets in April. You can also get them at 9 or 10 to 1 to make it to the Final Four. It was actually a perfect spot to bet against them last night, coming off the big win against UConn, and they host Creighton over the weekend. So they were trailing the whole game. They actually took the lead late, and Villanova got a basket late for the win there. So shout out to Richard Poplis there. The Big East, you could just literally Marquette, UConn, St. John's, Creighton. It's a dogfight there. Who wins the Big East tournament? We'll see where the brackets are. 2 years ago, before UConn made their run, they lost in the semis. So, and I enjoyed that part of it because it gave them a couple extra days to recoup there. And I'd probably be the same way, Richard. I wouldn't mind, a win, but I don't know if you want to see them, get to that final game or win the Big East conference tournament. I think this team needs some gelling, and I think hopefully Danny's got them there. And I talked earlier about Caravan. Caravan really needs to step it up. Busy day here. 3 o'clock. Fight Night Fortunes with Lou Finocchiaro. UFC in Las Vegas this week at the Apex. So smaller cage, not many fans in the stands, as Lou liked to say. And then 5 o'clock, Ron Marmolevsky will be back here to talk, recap the Super Bowl. One new coach hiring, Kellen Moore, going to the Saints. Maybe we'll talk a little draft. And is the window closed on the Kansas City Chiefs? Big following here. If you're not following us on YouTube, head on over to East Coast Sports Investors. Subscribe, it's free. And then head on back to EC Sports Invest. Follow us, we'll follow you right back there. Turn on your notifications, never miss a show. And if you're interested in being a part of the ECSI VIPs, get all our selections sent to you daily to your cell phone via text and email. go to eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. We have an introductory welcome to the ECSI family, our 10-year anniversary on social media. Yes, we began here January 1st, 2015. We're the 1% of the 1%. $3 a day, $99 a month. Set it and forget it. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can hit us up at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Everyone have a great afternoon, and we'll be back at 3 o'clock. And stay tuned.